for you in the world of glass tiles. Scott Dean is joining us again from HGTV Home Design Studio by Bassett. Welcome, welcome. Wow, you've got some fancy things in front of us.
Well, you wanted something funky and different.
Fun.
I understand you did a tile project this last week.
I did, but I didn't use any of this good stuff. I tiled the kitchen floor, and she said, had to be very practical and functional.
And don't bring boring, so I didn't bring boring. So
no, I love this. Is awesome. But this is not flooring. This is for
some of them
walls,
can
right?
be. Some can be flooring. Yeah, it depends on what the rating is. But most of these would be used on walls, backsplashes, tabletops, things like that. They don't get as much usage, of course.
Okay.
But all we're talking about is glass tile.
This is all. So everything here is glass.
Everything is glass or glass mixed infused, and we'll talk about that. Of course, everybody's familiar with Subway tile. It's very popular again. But you can do all these colors right here in Subway tile in glass, and that's what makes it kind of fun is to mix it up and not just have your standard white Subway tile anymore. You can do linear and square tiles, such as these. These are glass inset tiles within those pieces right there. You can do circles. We have ovals and circles.
Hold them up just for a second, okay, so they get a shot of them.
Fun.
Those look really, they look modern is what they look.
They look modern, but they also can be used in various different ways. You could frame a mirror with them. You could put them, like I said before, like on a tabletop, or you can do a linear part of your backsplash. Reverse painted tiles are becoming very popular. These are a little more traditional designs here, and the pattern has been reversed painted on the back of it.
Pretty too.
Yeah, so this is more traditional.
Which protects the pattern, right?
Exactly. And then what we have is the large format tiles, because a lot of people think that glass tile comes really small. So just for Michelle, I brought these gigantic, large format tiles. So this one right here, this one has been fused in between ceramic and glass. So in between is this shell pattern or actual shell material that they put in, then they fuse the glass on top of it. This one here is etched glass. You can hold that one up loose. So what they've done here, they have.
Hang on a second. Let me take a look at here.
So they have fused a foil paper in between the two layers of glass, and then they've etched the top. So you can actually feel
there's texture to it.
Texture on the etching on the top of that glass.
Okay, so now these larger tiles, where do we use these typically?
Typically on walls, sometimes on wainscoting, so around a dining room or around a bathroom, maybe a half bath.
They would do that. You would do that whole bottom section
the whole
in these.
Thing.
Now, and these would be installed horizontally?
They could be installed horizontally or vertically.
Okay.
Or you could do a brick pattern.
Okay.
And then the new one, the iridescent.
Oh my goodness, what is that?
This is iridescent. So this is a different type.
That is cool, is what it is.
And you're going to get lots of different.
Tip it forward a little bit. We're getting a little bit of a glare.
So
look at that. Extra sparkly today.
Right there, right with my shirt. See, I brought that one just perfect. And then this is slumped glass. So slumped or molded glass. This one's got tons of texture.
Oh, look at that.
Take a look at. Oh, that is awesome. I like that too.
So that's going to give you a lot of texture. Now, now, just because Michelle's here,
these wouldn't be on a DIY scale. Are these hard to install?
This is the one you need to install.
These look like they're going to be expensive.
They're expensive,
and they're an investment.
Correct, and there is some installation issues we'll talk about. But before we do, we need to talk about the most important one, and that is recycled glass. And I brought that today because it's my favorite glass company, and it's called Oceanside. And right here, you have the story of Oceanside. It started about 25 years ago by four surfer guys in Oceanside, California.
Dressed much like you are.
Probably just like this, and their motto is they ate a lot of burritos along the way. They've become one of the largest recycled glass manufacturers in the world, and they recycle about 2 million pounds of post-consumer material.
Wow.
Using approximately 70% of material, up to 70% to make the glass.
So they're purchasing the glass that's getting recycled at all of the recycling plants in all of the different areas.
Exactly.
So we're sending our bottles and jars and all of that. And
correct.
Okay.
And what started with just more of a hand-honed, more Renaissance style of glass has now metamorphed into a lot of different products. So they're not just doing just that hand slubbing anymore. They do a lot more than just one at a time. They've got factories now.
Okay.
And the other thing that you can see a lot more of their work by going to glasstile.com. And that tells you how old they are.
Wow.
Glasstile.com.
They got it that long ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he
long
means.
ago,
Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
So that's the recycled glass, and then the other one, which is the traditional, these are the mosaics. So this is all glass mosaics.
Look at this.
These can come in several different sizes. You notice this one right here is a section of about a 12 by 12, but you put 4 of them together to actually make a 24 by 24 pattern.
Okay.
These are, of course, influenced by stained glass windows or old mosaic floors. What's great about these is that you don't need a lot of them. You simply take 4 of them, maybe put them behind your stove in one location, and that's it. So you don't have to spend a lot. Yeah, and you're done.
It's a nice little accent.
Exactly. Yep. And those are the mosaic
Just look at some of
tiles.
the patterns on these things.
Yeah,
they
go
can
on and
really
on.
get intricate.
Yeah.
Then the other thing you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of people that have mixed metal, like there's stainless steel and glass, there's ceramic and glass, or stone and glass. So you're going to see a lot of those out in the marketplace
awesome.
as well. And those just give you a mixed up material and make it a little more interesting. Now you ask about installation.
Yeah, because this is
Installation. So the first thing you have to know is the difference between translucent and opaque. These translucent tile, which you can see completely through, you have a problem because what's going to happen?
You're going to see all
You're
the
going to see the
adhesive.
material.
You're going to see the adhesive material. So you have to know what you're doing. And what's very important is that on something like this, you want to use a white thin set, a white material, so that you show through that white. And it's very good to actually do a test sample if you're going to DIY this to make sure that you know what you're actually going to see in the end. Then the
The paint, so if you're putting it, well, that wouldn't because you're covering up with adhesive. I was just going to ask a silly question.
Right. And
If the walls
color
painted a certain
showing
color,
through.
yeah.
you're probably going to have a problem there. The other thing is that you have to realize is what you're seeing here is not what you're going to get, because once you grout these, that's going to change the look. And that's pretty true about ceramic tile, but it's more true about glass tile, because once this gets filled in with a color, it looks a lot different. So you may want to try a couple samples of grouting prior to deciding what color you're going to use.
The color of grout to determine what it's going to look like from here.
Right.
Okay.
So you could take a little sample of this and do 3 different grout colors and go, okay, what's that going to look like? Because a lot of times we grout this in black. But think about it if you grouted it in white or gray, then you're going to have 3 different looks there. And so what you may have bought and what you installed and grouted, and you get one shot at it, it may not be exactly what you wanted. So do a test sample when you're grouting. Make sure that you know how to cut them and how to edge them. A lot of tiles do not come with proper edging, like there's no a bullnose piece on them.
So what do you do in that case?
A lot of them have finished edges because the tiles are glass, they have a finished edge. So you don't have to do anything. You could just run a little bit of caulk along there, or you can use the product called Schluter, which is this little guy right here. Well, he was right here. Here he is. So this is an edging piece. This happens to be a PVC Schluter. It just comes on the edge and then edges your tile beautifully. You can get
that looks pretty slick. Yeah.
You can get
Very
it in
nice.
stainless steel. You can get it in a lot of different colors. So that's going to edge.
What's the care on these?
Don't scratch it.
Okay, there you go. There's your
all right.
helpful care tip. Don't scratch it.
Lots of
scratch it.
Windex. Don't scratch it.
Okay, all right. Very nice.
But you know, hire someone who's done glass tile before to install your glass tile, because they're very expensive. You don't have to use a lot of them, but just use sparingly. Or if you do go whole hog and really spend the money, which is up in the $100 a square foot range, you really should know what you're doing and how to cut it. Remember that tile blade has to be very sharp and spin very fast in order so it won't chip it.
There you go.
And
you
so,
don't want any wood.
Right. So how did my tile saw do to you?
It was great.
Okay,
actually.
so good.
It was great for but I was working with less expensive tiles, of course. But
Yeah, but these glass tiles, they're going to pop, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're going to look really great.
Yeah, so and the things to keep in mind, the thickness of them and the way it's installed. So you do your research before you go out and just spend a lot of money, because there's a difference between mixing them, thin tiles, thick tiles, and how you install them.
right. So, but don't be afraid to mix these in.
Mix them in.
And kind of mix them in with some other materials, some
Right.
great accents, some great pops. Don't be afraid of the size. You have all different kind of shapes and sizes to play with.
Edgings. You you can take a sheet and cut it down and add edgings, and then research the installation. Make sure you're getting the proper installation.
And maybe get a professional involved.
And maybe get a professional.
That's right. For more information, of course, you can visit Scott and all that he does over there at hgtvdsm.com online. You can also stop in his beautiful studio over there on Douglas Avenue. They're there to help. Lots of great things there to show and get you up to date in your own home. So thank you once again. This was beautiful. Lots of
just
great
a little different.
These are awesome. I like these. Yeah.
Very
Something you don't think about when you think about ceramic tile. You may not think that glass has lots of possibilities.
This is beautiful,
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So
This is awesome.
Thank you. Stay tuned.